What's up, everybody? It's Vicious, and today I guess I want to kind of tackle a subject that's like been on the Tekken community's mind since Tekken 8 was in beta, and it's about the identity of the characters. I guess some people would say the identity of the game, but I guess I want to kind of tackle the identity of the characters and like just kind of tell you how I feel about that. What brought this on is I was reading some posts on Twitter in the Tekken community, which is a big mistake. You should never do that. And one of the things that they were mentioning was Kazuya having up forward one, and how him having a mid poke kind of like messes with the identity of the character. And I don't like that. I just think that that's kind of bullshit. The reason I say that is because there's plenty of people out there that just keep thinking that like there's some professor of like fighting games and they mostly play Tekken, or like they're the professor of Tekken. You know, they have all the information on Tekken that you could possibly have. You see that from some of the tournament players too, and it's like some of the tournament players are biased towards things that like I can't really understand. Not because I haven't played in tournaments for Tekken, but just for the simple fact that, you know, they're biased. Like they want to see things happen that I don't want to see happen. And like Harada said, that's problematic when they listen to the tournament players, because you end up getting a game like Tekken Tag 2, which honestly, Tekken Tag 2 was my favorite because I thought it was like super balanced. So I think at the time, like people were really wanting a balance, like a balanced game. Albeit there are some situations where you can get like a lot of damage. Tekken Tag 2 is pretty balanced. Like there aren't a bunch of like super crazy characters. I would say, among the super crazy characters like Bob, Devil Jin, and Lars. And Eddie in some cases when he has rage. But I feel like some updates could have tweaked that, but they never updated Tag 2. But I'm getting sidetracked. I want to talk about the characterization of characters. I've been playing with Kazuya for a long time, right? Ever since I've known about Tekken, and I played Tekken 2 at my cousin's house when I was younger, and got all the other Tekkens after that. Like, I like Kazuya. He's my favorite character in any video game, at least from Tekken 1 through Tekken 5. He was pretty cool. 6 through 8, I don't know what's going on with this dude sometimes. But, so here's up forward 1. It's a 20 frame startup move, and the frame advantage is -7, right? You get to push an enemy back, but let me see. Can I set this to punish? Like, what would even be a good punish? So, bam. Like, it pushes you back, and like a simple jab isn't going to do it. But let me see. Can I do 1-2? Standing 1-2? Let me just do that real quick. Oh, I think I was too slow. Record again. Okay, that should be good. Let's do it. So you get countered if you try an attack, like, immediately afterwards, right? Oh, man, that's bad, right? Okay. So when you're in double form, you understandably get an extension that keeps the opponent from attacking you. But, let me see. What is the advantage on that? Okay, that is also -7. So it's not something I would trust going forward with Kazuya to just do and just throw it out. Somebody said that this makes Kazuya invincible, which is fucking insane to me. Like, dog. Even on counter hit, like, alright, so I'm +3, right? That gives me a chance to turn up the pressure a little bit, but like, they're kind of far away. Maybe they're able to sidestep. Let me see if they can. Just sidestep left for me. Okay, maybe sidewalk left. You can sidewalk that. Like, if you try and do another mid, what I'm trying to show you is, what I'm trying to showcase is, like, this move isn't God. You know what I mean? We got this I-14, right? This I-14 homing move, and on counter hit, it allows for you to juggle. And that's pretty good. It's punishable, though. I think that's worth mentioning. It's minus 12. You can jab that. A jab is 10 frames. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I don't think that this takes away from the character's identity. But what is the identity of a character? So I feel like this is something too loose. A lot of players like play fast and loose with this, right? So like, if you were to ask a certain group of people, they would say that Kazuya's identity is he doesn't have fast mids, he doesn't have safe mids or good mid pokes, and you know, honestly, that's true to a certain degree. But it's like, all right, look at that. This is a mid poke. It's minus 8, right? This is a mid poke. Well, actually, I'm sorry. This is more of a poke because a poke is like more positive, right? If I'm not mistaken. Because I guess in my head, the definition of poke would be like something that you can't be punished with, right? And this is something that's plus. So like you could just, if somebody tried to jab you, bam. They even got that in the move list, like as a setup. I've been doing that for years. But yeah, this is positive. It's like his, yeah, I think that's his like only positive mid. Yeah, I believe that's his only positive mid because this shit is minus 15, which sucks. I spend my heat to get a move that's minus 15. Isn't that something? That's minus 19. Okay, this is frame advantage 0. So yeah, like he doesn't have a lot of positive moves, mid moves, but I don't really think that makes the character per se. I just honestly think that's kind of like a weird thing to parse on the characters. Like, do you know how much sense that makes? Like, so for going forward in all the rest of the games, like if it's a glaring issue that Kazuya, like let's just say some of these mids didn't exist, right? If it's a glaring issue that some of these mids didn't exist, like they would rather have it that way and keep it that way because the identity of the character is he has no good mids, and I think that's just ridiculous. Like to me, the identity of the character is more so in their moves and how they proceed forward in combat. Like for instance, you know, wave dashing to the, like from the windows to the wall, getting that hell sweep off. In a lot of cases, I've never been able to like really do it successfully, but in a lot of cases, getting a PWGF off. Having the EWGF in general is like a character-defining trait. Like only certain characters have it. You got Kazuya, Heihachi, Reina. Jin has Electric Wind and Hook Fist, but that's kind of different. But yeah, man. Like, these are character-defining traits. The fucking hell sweep, hell dash. The crouch dash in general, and, like, going into anything, I think is something that defines Kazuya. And, you know, things like that and the like. Some of his moves. He has, like, an unlimited amount of back fists. There's a back fist. There's a back fist. Here's a back fist there, back fist here. You know, that's kind of, like, part of his move set, kind of like it's a move that you would think that he uses. Devil Jin, him and his flight capabilities, I think stuff like that defines the character more than like, oh, well, they're only allowed to have a certain amount of mids. Like, it's just ridiculous. And it's kind of like how the discourse goes in the Tekken community sometimes, really. Like, we get into these little spats over disagreements like this. Like, you know what? I'll be man enough to say I could see why they disagree with me, but they gotta see why I disagree with them, right? Like, I want Kazuya to have good mids. Like, this is a game where you're supposed to have control over the other person's character by locking them down and getting super aggressive. I don't really feel like Kazuya has that, if you ask me. Like, look at this. This move is +5, but it's I-24. This move is like I-19. This is I-20. You can sidestep this. You know what I mean? And that's not like to say that that move is bad. I'm not trying to say that like, you know, like, oh man, I wish they had buff it. I'm just saying it like, you know, imagine if like he didn't have it or they nerfed this. Like, what would he have? Like, you would have people ducking almost constantly. Because, yeah, Kazuya has some good highs. But, you know, not having... well, actually, he doesn't have that many good highs now that I think about it. That's funny. He has, like, a decent high here or there. And some okay lows. Like, well, this low, I actually love Stature Smash. This one, I don't know what to say about this. Like, it's +7, but, you know... I don't need it for anything most of the time. But I'm getting sidetracked again. I'm sorry. I say all this to say, like, can we, like, keep an open mind about things? Like, Jin is a character that's gone through a bunch of changes throughout the years. And some people say that Jin lost his identity. But honestly, if you start playing with Jin right now, the only differences that you find is, like, you know, his stance transitions. Like... And there's stances that he has, like, and the fact that he gets like an auto electric wind hook fist, like maybe he shouldn't have that. You know, maybe you should like have that extra added level of difficulty because you know when Kazuya does his shit, he doesn't get an auto EWGF. He's the only character in this game that can get like a just frame electric, right? And I mean like, you know, Reina, Heihachi, Jin, they all can get electrics after going into a stance, and Kazuya's the only character that can't do that. See what I'm saying? The only reason he was able to get an electric out of that is because I spent heat to do it, which is silly, you know. But we're getting into a whole nother argument. Anyway, that's really my take on the characters and like, you know, what makes a character is really the moves and how they approach fights. Like Lee, like with the logic that I'm hearing from people on Twitter, Lee, his character should be about wall carries and that alone, which he has wall carries, but you know, I think that he deserves to have better mids because he's getting killed right now. Give my guy a homing mid counter hit. Like, that's faster than fucking 1+2. This shit is slow as hell. Brian he's a kickboxer. He does this. He does that. He has orbital heal and he has snake edge. You know, he has his back fist and now he can buff himself, and that's incorporated into his personality. I would never tell anybody, well. The thing about Brian is he's an all-rounder, and that's the best thing about him. Like, you know, his weakness is he doesn't have, like, a bunch of low mixes or something. Like, okay, and guess what they gave him in this patch? This shit. You know what I mean? I don't hate that move. I'm glad that he got it. I'm glad that he can go to a low. It finally makes this move make sense, right? Because, like, why? Like, you know, I don't think anybody needs to block this or this. Those are only low moves that he has out of this stance. And full crouch 4, full crouch 2-1. Like, these are good mids, but there's nothing to trick anybody to, like, you know, like duck down really. Except BJ, my guy BJ, he ducks down a lot sometimes. Like, I don't trick him all the time, but now I'm starting to get him because Brian finally has, like, he could do this. Bam. And I love it, you know? As a person that plays with Brian quite a bit, I love that shit. You know, I would never get on Twitter and be like, man, this isn't part of Brian's identity. I think that they should take this low away and give him like a mid instead that pushes you back. Like, that's stupid. Anyway, I'm done with this video. Let me know what you think.